Peace of Our Lady of Guadalupe. That in 1531, when Our Lady appeared on that day to Juan Diego as he went up to the top of the mountain, is on his way that morning of December the 12th. He was not intending to meet Our Lady because of a crisis. On that morning of December the 12th, Juan Bernardino, the uncle of Juan Diego, was wounded by an arrow, attacked by enemies of the Catholic faith, an unexpected attack in the night before, and he was in danger of death. And clearly this attack was brought on because of the hatred of the devil, and because the devil knew that there was going to be a great miracle. He did not know the details of the miracle, but he knew there would be a great miracle on that morning of the 12th of December, that Our Lady was going to do something. And this something he was going to do, she was probably going to gather flowers, and these flowers were going to be given to Juan Diego that he would bring to Bishop Zumarraga, and Bishop Zumarraga would recognize that the Mother of God had really appeared on Tepeyac Hill. And then Bishop Zumarraga, and the Catholic faith in Mexico would become strong. And the devil wanted to stop it. And the devil knew that he could never fight directly against God. When the devil attacks, the devil attacked 6,000 years ago, and his method is always an indirect attack. He always moves in from the side. He always moves in some dark and sly angle. So that 6,000 years ago, he knew that he needed Adam to be the one to eat the forbidden fruit. He knew that he needed Adam to be the one to turn against God, or else the sin of Eve would not pass on to the human race. Eve was not his target. Eve was a weapon that was used by the devil to get at Adam. And also the devil recognized that Eve was the heart of Adam, and that Eve was the way to get to Adam. And he realized, if I get Eve, I get her to eat that forbidden fruit, she will find a way to get him to do it. And the best way to defeat Adam is not by directly tempting him alone, but rather to go in some oblique manner. And this has been the attack, the style of the devil since the beginning. And he recognized on December the 12th, Satan recognized on December the 12th, 1531, in Mexico, that some great miracle was going to happen that was going to shake the kingdom of hell. He recognized there had been many miracles. There have been many miracles, but this miracle would somehow be greater than so many other miracles. It would have a lasting effect greater than any other miracle. We have this miraculous tilma of the Blessed Virgin Mary on the cloth of Juan Diego, which was made by his wife, and is always a remembrance not only of the Blessed Mother Mary, the Mother of God, but that cloth which was made by love, made with the love of Maria Lucia, the wife of Juan Diego. And then she died, and she was never able to see her cloth that will last for all eternity. The world shall come to an end, burnt up in fire, but this cloth shall not be burnt in fire. Many clothes have been made from the beginning of the world until the end, but this cloth shall last, made by a humble Mexican lady who received the Holy Roman Catholic faith, who was baptized, who made them a simple cloth, a simple shawl that goes over the shoulder and hangs down in order to carry things, made to carry loads, and would be tied up with a rope around the waist of Juan Diego. And this cloth remains, and Maria Lucia's hand is still in it. And the devil recognized something great is going to happen. I must stop it. And the way to stop it is to get Juan Diego to miss his rendezvous. Juan Diego is told, and he promised the Holy Mother of God, that he will meet her on Tepeyac Hill on this 12th of December, 1531. It's an important day. And the devil wanted to make sure the rendezvous did not happen. How does he do it? He needs to attack the free will of Juan Diego. He needs to get Juan Diego to become confused in some way. He needs to get him to become afraid in some way, and to get him distracted in some way. So therefore he inspires enemies of the Catholic Church, thieves and bandits and haters of the Catholic Church, to attack the house of Juan Bernardino, the uncle of Juan Diego, And in an attack, they try to kill him, but Our Lady doesn't allow it, and he is wounded by an arrow, mortally wounded. And then the devil says, you know what must happen? You have a choice, Juan Diego. You have a choice. Either meet the Mother of God in order to carry a message to a bishop, or go and get a priest to save your uncle who is dying. And the uncle would have known about Juan Diego's mission. The uncle, Juan Bernardino, he knew about the mission of Juan Diego because Juan Diego would have told him, I went to Mexico City this morning. I went to say Mass this morning, to go to Mass this morning. I met the Blessed Virgin Mary. She told me to meet her again this morning, December the 12th. And Juan Bernardino also was happy about that meeting. But then everything got shook upside down in one night. It was in the night of December the 11th that everything got all shaken apart. And thieves came to the house, and there was an attack in the house, and there was a shaking apart, and there was a wound, and he was dying. And and all of a sudden, the clarity of mind, what to do, was taken away. And what happened is that Juan Diego then, as Juan Bernardino says, I am dying and I need a priest. Go to the priest. Go to Mexico City, but go to the priest and get the priest right away and bring him to me because I am dying. And surely the Mother of God will understand. Because this is a life and death situation. And I need the priest. And I'm bleeding to death right now. And Juan Diego left. Juan Diego ended up being deceived by the devil. He ended up thinking that it was more important to go around, to do something other than meet the Mother of God. When she said, meet me tomorrow morning. Meet me tomorrow morning as you did the other 3 mornings, and I will tell you what to do. Now she had all eternity to plan this meeting. Not all eternity, but for 2,000 years, 1,500 years to plan this meeting. And she knows from heaven what's going to happen. She knows the miracle that she's going to perform. And what does she also know? She knows the wiles of the devil. And she knows the ways of Satan. She knows the devil is going to try to do something to interfere with the fulfillment of the will of her son. And the devil cannot attack her son directly. And the devil cannot attack the Blessed Virgin Mary directly. He is a coward. He cannot face them. The Satan cannot face them. And he also knows if he faces them, he will be utterly crushed. So what does he do? He attacks in an oblique manner. He goes after the weak souls. He goes after the souls that he wants to get, that he thinks he can confuse. And he did confuse Juan Bernardino. And the devil did confuse Juan Diego. And Juan Diego then went. And instead of going to meet the Holy Mother, he decided to go around Tepeyac Hill. He decided to go another way. And you must remember that this was 500 years ago, and it was not only an event, an historical event, which changed the shape of the history of the New World, and the history of the world in general, as 10 million people would convert to the Catholic faith because of this miraculous image of the Blessed Virgin Mary of Guadalupe, but it marked the beginning of the age of apostasy. It marked the beginning of the 500 years in which we entered the 5th age of the Church. In the 5th age of the Church, what happened? In the 5th age of the Church, we are fishes and birds, like the 5th day on God's creation. Fishes, they live in the sea of sin. And birds, they fly away from doctrine. And they don't have confidence in doctrine. When they stand on rock, when they stand on the rock, they are not confident. When they stand on the rock, they are weak, and they are subject to be destroyed by the prey. And therefore, they often try to escape the rock. And we are like the fishes and birds of this 5th age of the Church. But the 5th age must come to an end. What's going to bring an end to the 5th age? A transition between the age of apostasy and fishes living in the sea away from Christ, and birds flying away from doctrine and flying away from doctrine. You can fly very high, but no matter how high a bird flies, eventually his wings get tired. Eventually he can't stay in the air forever, and he must land. And when he lands, he is ready and to be a victim of the attacks of the devil. And so there must be a transition. And the transition is going to happen in a very similar way of Juan Diego's transition. 500 years ago, at the beginning of the age of the apostasy, But how God allowed there to be a great miracle at the beginning of the age of apostasy to signify not only the conversion of the people of Mexico, but to signify the conversion of the whole world, which is going to happen at the end of this fifth age. And it will happen that when God asks a simple request, and the Blessed Virgin Mary asks a very simple request, such as the request of the Pope to consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, the request to consecrate ourselves to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, the request to consecrate ourselves to the Sacred Heart of her Son, the request to say the Rosary each day. Very simple requests. And the Blessed Virgin Mary makes extremely simple requests. And yet we find it so hard to do it. And to have complete confidence in the victory of the Blessed Virgin Mary over Satan, and to recognize it is more important to have a rendezvous, more important to have a meeting with the Blessed Mother of God, than it is to find a way around the meeting place. Pius XII was the Pope who tried to find a way around the Tepeyac Hill. He knew the decree of the Blessed Virgin Mary, that she said, you must consecrate Russia to the Immaculate Heart of Mary if you bring an end to the horrible things happening in the world today. Consecrate Russia. Do what I request. Juan Diego originally was going to do the request of the Blessed Virgin, but he changed his mind because he was afraid. He changed his mind because he was confused. And as he walked towards the Tepeyac Hill, he decided to walk around it. And he walked around it, but the Blessed Virgin Mary intercepted him. And this is what she will do again at the ending of the world. She will intercept the Juan Diegos of our time. She will intercept also the Juan Diegos at the end of time, when the final battle against the Antichrist comes. She will be the one to intercept. So that when Juan Diego walked around the hill, trying not to be seen by the Blessed Virgin Mary, we find, for instance, this is one of the great sins of the whole last 500 years of the Catholic Church. In the last 500 years of Christianity, the Catholics and also, first of all, the wicked Protestants and those that call themselves Christians, they are not Christians at all, because they want to hide themselves from Mary. They want to go around the hill. They want to get to the heavenly Jerusalem without passing over Tepeyac Hill. They want to get to the heavenly Jerusalem without meeting the Blessed Virgin Mary. But she is the one who sent our Lord Jesus Christ to the cross. She is the one who said to all of the servants, do whatever he tells you. She is the one who makes sure that the graces that come down from that holy cross are passed on to all souls. And she is also the one who has been told from the very beginning of time. It has been told from the very beginning of time that she will be the one to crush the head of the serpent. And hence meeting with her is the wisest thing to do in every circumstance, but especially when we're in trouble. Especially when we're confused, especially when we're worried, and when we have any kind of need. Then it's necessary to go with her. This is the wisdom of St. John the Apostle. St. John did not understand what Christ was doing. St. John did not understand that the redemption of the world was taking place on Good Friday. But he did understand he must be next to Mary. He did understand that if she's going to be at the foot of the cross, he will be at the foot of the cross. And understanding that, he understood everything that needs to be understood by the priest. He happened to be in the right place when God the Son, on the cross, in his humanity, said, woman, behold thy son. Son, behold thy mother. He was tied to a cross at the time. He was nailed to a cross. He was constrained and he could not move. He could not say those words to St. Peter. He couldn't say them to any of the other 11 apostles, especially Judas, who had already committed suicide. He could only say the word to the apostle that was there at the cross. He could only say the word to the one that was standing nearby. Because the gospel also tells us that there were those who were standing afar off. The holy women were afar off. St. Peter and the other 10 apostles, they were afar off. They were there in the crowd, but they were afar off. And Christ, they were too far away. And Christ could not say to them, woman, behold thy son. Son, behold thy mother. Because the mother is there at the foot of the cross. And so where is the place to be when the bullets are flying? Where is the place to be when there is a struggle, confusion? It is always going to be with our Holy Mother. always is going to be there. She has the answer. She knows the way to defeat the Satan in every single way. She will crush his head. She will destroy him. She will destroy him in the most marvelous way. So on December the 12th, 1531, Juan Bernardino was very worried. He was dying, and he made bad advice. He should have said, I am being pierced with an arrow, and perhaps I shall die. But you have been told, go and meet the Mother of God. You don't skip the meeting on my account. The Mother of God is more important than I, and she'll take care of me. She'll make sure that all things are taken care of. She will not abandon me, because she's not only the Mother of God, she's the mother of all men, and she's my mother. And she will not allow me to die without the priest. She won't allow me to die without faith. She won't allow me to die without charity. She won't allow me to die without peace, so long as I love God and love her. And I do love God and I do love her. So therefore, don't worry about going to see the priest right now. First go and meet the Mother of God like you said you were going to meet her. After you have gathered up what she asked you to gather, after you have fulfilled her request, as soon as it is completely done, if it takes a day, a week, a month, do it. And when it is completely done, go and get the priest. She will not let me die until after that time. Mary first. The Mother of God first. Her wishes first. And my health, and my life, and my needs afterwards. That's what Juan Bernardino should have said, but he was confused. He didn't say the right thing. And Juan Diego should have said, yes, I will get the priest, but let me first meet the Mother of God. Let me first go and meet her, and I will tell her what the troubles are. She will know what to do. Maybe there's another way to speed up the healing and the cure. But he didn't understand that. And this is the great crisis, or one of the great aspects of the crisis of the last 500 years. The souls who love God, the souls who belong to the true faith, the souls that are supposed to be the warriors of Christ, don't understand. They don't understand. We are in a great battle against Satan. We are in a battle to defeat the enemies of God, and they shall be defeated, and Satan shall be crushed. But where are we going to be? We must experience sorrows. We must experience buffets. We must have these things. Consider, was it unreasonable? Was it to be unexpected that on the night before a great miracle, the devil makes an attack? He better make an attack. He's our enemy. He's trying to stop the miracle, but he knows he can't stop the miracle. But therefore, what he's going to do is, he's going to try to stop the free will of those that shall go and participate in the miracle. Those that are going to be able to bring that miracle to souls. And that's Juan Diego. And God has decided that Juan Diego is the one. He will be the one that must carry those roses, those flowers, over into the Bishop Zumarraga. God has chosen Juan Diego. God has chosen the Juan Bernardino. God has chosen Bishop Zumarraga. And in fact, we will discover on the last day that God has chosen every one of us. What did he say? Many are called, but few are chosen. Many are called, that is, they are chosen to be saints. They are selected to be saints. They're selected to be warriors in the army of Christ. They're selected to do all the different tasks that are needed in an army. But not all answer the call. Not all respond to the call. And especially in the time of the battle. We are in such a time right now, and let us not make the mistake of Juan Bernardino and the mistake of Juan Diego. But if we do make the mistake, we shouldn't worry too much if the love of Mary is in our hearts. Juan Diego made a great mistake, but he still loved the Mother of God. And then as he was walking around that hill, she intercepted him, just like she's going to intercept the Holy Father. We've had Holy Fathers that have disobeyed the Pope for the last almost 100 years, disobeyed Christ and the Blessed Virgin for almost 100 years. But they will not continue to disobey forever. One day she shall walk down the hill and intercept the Pope. She's going to walk down the hill and intercept the Holy Church with these wicked churchmen that are the leaders of our Holy Church, that are leading the church and the souls in it to perdition. But what's going to happen? She's walking down on an angle to intercept. Juan Diego was walking around the hill, and she took an angle to intercept him. And then he realized he could not escape. Therefore he met her. He met her. And then she told him what to do. I told you, meet me on top of the hill. Go back to the place where I told you to meet me. I will wait here. You go back to the place where I told you to meet me. I am here at the bottom of the hill. I told you to meet me on top of the hill. Go back to the place where I told you to meet me. And there you will see flowers. Gather them up and bring them to me, and I will arrange them. And so it shall be at the end of this age. We are the apostles of Jesus and Mary, the followers of Archbishop Lefebvre and the Society of St. Pius X. We are the apostles of Jesus and Mary. Our whole being is to be the carriers of Jesus and Mary. The Society of St. Pius X are the carriers of Jesus and Mary. St. Pius X is our patron. And why is he our patron? Because he is the great warrior against the Satan of our times. The wicked head of Satan in our times is called modernism, and that head must be crushed. The wicked head of our times is gobbling up souls all throughout the entire world, and we must fight against that wicked head. And the only one that crushes that head is the Blessed Virgin Mary. And therefore we belong to her as we fight against the venom of the wicked head of modernism in our world. The wicked head that was spewed forth in the last several hundred years, and especially in Vatican II. The wicked head that has found itself into Catholic tradition. The wicked head that is spreading throughout the entirety of the world, including the traditional Catholic world, and destroying many souls. That wicked head must be crushed. And it will be crushed. But where do we want to be in the midst of this fight? Standing at the foot of the cross. Is it because we love the cross? No, we're afraid of the cross. We're terrified of the cross. We don't like to suffer. But it's the safest place to be, because at the foot of the cross is where Mary is. It was the safest place to be on Good Friday. Our Lord Jesus Christ was hanging on the cross. He was being crucified. He was being scourged and crowned with thorns and nailed to a cross. How many wounds did St. John receive? 0.0. Nothing. Was he ever in danger? Absolutely not. He didn't know it at the time, but he was never in danger. What do we do when there is a time of battle? Stay close to the Mother. Stay close to Our Lady. And we're in a great fight. Let's stay close to the Blessed Virgin Mary. Persevere in the love of Our Lady. Keep up the Holy Rosary each day. Keep up the Holy Hour every day. And make sure that we speak to Our Lady in our hearts. And recognize that in our little seminary that we want to produce in our hearts apostles. Apostles with the heart of Jesus and Mary inside of us. To spread this heart, their two hearts, through the ends of the earth. This is what we must do. And so always have a great love of Our Lady on this feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and ask that we not make the grave mistakes of Juan Bernardino and Juan Diego. And if we do, may Our Lady come and correct us anyway. She came to Juan Bernardino and she cured him in that next morning, on December the 12th. She came to Juan Diego even though he went the wrong way, and gave him the strength to do the right thing. And she gave them the victory anyway. But let's ask the grace to not make their mistake. And if we do make their mistakes, make sure the love of Mary stays inside of us, so that she will come and intercept us on the way and bring us safely into the kingdom of heaven. Bless you all. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.